Hello. So in our office, we have most people work in the office, but we have some people who are remote. And if you're remote, it's kind of hard to figure out who's in the office, whether they're contactable, if they're pairing on somebody else's station. So we stuck up a couple of Raspberry Pis running nerves, so you can just check to see who's around. It's also kind of handy, say, if you're changing the brake light on your car, and you've got one hanging around, and you need to know if your brake light's working. You can blue tack it to a wheelie bin and watch it. So we did say, why don't you just put a brick? Well, things I had handy were a Raspberry Pi connecting to a server. Things I didn't have handy was a brick. So this is pretty much how it works. You've got, because this is over the internet, you don't want to be tunneling into networks and things. Well, maybe you do, but I didn't. You don't want to be tunneling around networks to look at what's on the Raspberry Pi. So we push the images up to a server with binary WebSockets, and then you connect to the server and pull the images down. I'm not going to go into any more details, but binary WebSocket's pretty cool. But this is the kind of the 404. The Pi's not working. It's a little dog running around a tree that I found on gift bin, I think. The cameras will be up for a few days, maybe a week, and then they'd drop off the network. And it was really hard to debug what's going on because they weren't on the network. I've been monitoring now and again and thinking maybe there's some kind of process leak. Maybe when the network goes down, there's something, I'm leaking processes, I'm leaking file descriptors, I'm leaking something or other. But when I monitored it, there was nothing going wrong. Eventually, figured out the problem was with nerves networking. Occasionally, it forgets all about what network it's meant to connect into and just sits there not connecting. And I don't know, I couldn't figure out how to fix the problem with nose networking, so looked at doing a workaround. So on the application, we've got using the Jeremy something or other binary WebSocket thing, but I don't really like having things not named in a process tree. So I've got a little wrapper which kicks it off, only waits 5 seconds because it doesn't need to kick off that quickly, and then if it's going down, it'll wait another 5 seconds and kick off. And if the network's down, that will be dying constantly and coming back up again. Similar thing with kicking off the nose networking. I don't really get shoehorn, to be honest, if you know nose, but I like it just to be there and coming up and being in a supervision tree. So figured that if the socket's going down, we could detect that and then just kill the nose networking, and it does come up again and it comes back fine when that happens. But I didn't want the binary socket to know about the networking because it's at a different level on the protocol. It just seems wrong to be spreading that information around. So I created a new application, the umbrella, called the Network Killing Supervisor. We've got a network killer assassin, which links to the network wrapper, which kicks off the nerves networking, and the server comms linker, which has got a less cool name. Which goes in and links to the binary socket wrapper. That's got the supervisor has a specific restart strategy. So if it goes down 15 times in 2 minutes, it propagates up the tree. So you can see what happens is if the networking is just not coming up, it'll propagate up to the application supervisor, which will restart everything. It's not going to be dying often enough that it'll kill the application. And I feel that's quite a neat little trick there just to work around the issue with nerves networking. And that is all.